Welcome to Windows Basics. This is episode 2, and we are going to dive into File Explorer. If you ever want to know how to navigate your folders, this is the episode for you. Get yourself every hour, sit back, relax, and let's dive into the world of File Explorer. Now, there are numerous pathways to access what is known as File Explorer. Honestly, all these icons from your recycle bin to these manila folders here, to this PC, to OneDrive shortcut, these are File Explorers. Now, these other icons are pretty much your applications, all right? They're not going to give you File Explorer access, like iTunes, Edge, Steam, OBS Studio. These are what I have living on my desktop. But these are the ones that I mentioned here, like Video Shortcut. This pretty much is going to be File Explorer. You may have a taskbar shortcut down here for File Explorer that lives right here. You may access it through the search bar, the handy dandy search bar that is your best friend. You can simply type in File, and it'll be right there for best match. If you don't type anything, it could be a recent one that you accessed. Or if you go to your start icon down here, hey, look, there it is right there, the little folder. Hover over it, it'll tell you it's File Explorer. You may have it pinned up here. Numerous ways to access it. I already got it open, so we're going to kick it open. And we're going to, hey, let me just close it out and start over. We're just going to access it here. And this is where it lands for me. It lands at this PC, which is going to be, if you scroll on here on the side, this PC lives right here. So this is where a default opens up to. Now you can change that. You can go to these three dots here, go to options, and then in this option box here, it says this PC. This is where you could access it to. So if I set it to home, click apply, okay, close it out, hit open again. It's going to take me now to the home location. Which honestly, I think I may just keep it that way. So, but I'll take you to this home location right here. You got quick access folders right here. You got recent files that you may have accessed and checked out and looked at before. You can find all those right here. You may have some favorites. You may have some shared. We're not going to talk about those. But basically, this is like a quick access area for you. Now, you can go to gallery. Gallery is pretty much pictures and videos that lands all there for you. This cloud icon where it says Adam-Personal, that's my OneDrive account. You should have a OneDrive account. If you don't, what are you waiting for? We may do that as a video as well. But OneDrive is basically a cloud service that Microsoft gives you through Microsoft 365. If you get the plan, you get 1 terabyte of a personal drive. If you do the family, I think it's up about to 5 to 6 members of family members can all get their own 1 terabyte drive through OneCloud or OneDrive. OneCloud. It's the same thing, right? It's all cloud. Clouds. All right, OneDrive cloud service. And basically, this is stored into somewhere in Microsoft's many, many data centers out there in the world. So that's where it lives. And if your computer craps out, guess what? Your files are safe in OneDrive. And when you get a new machine, you relog in with your Microsoft account, you'll get all your files back. It's so great to have that ability to do so. Or if you're old school and just want to have it on premises and just have an external hard drive or have a file server, which I have all these things, you can do that as well. So numerous options on how to save your files and back them up. On the sidebar, this is kind of a quick access bar. You got desktop here. You got your downloads folder. This is where everything that you download will land in the downloads folder right here. So if you downloaded say a software install, you don't know where it's at, usually it'll give you an icon on the sidebar somewhere to open it or whatever, or open directly to the folder. It's going to take you here. And if you're having trouble with it, open File Explorer. Right here is downloads. You'll find it there. I guarantee it. Documents is pretty much, if you are saving documents, this is also connected to my OneDrive as well. It's backed up into it. You can save all your stuff right here easily, or if you want to be cool and organize it. I used to be better than this. What happened to me? I got files everywhere. But they're all in my documents folder, and it's cool. Pictures, this is where all your pictures lands. Camera roll right here, just kind of highlight here. I have OneDrive on my mobile phone right here, and all my pictures I take backs up into my OneDrive. That is so cool. So that way, once they upload into the OneDrive, easily delete them off my phones without having to worry about maxing out my memory. I highly suggest doing that. It is makes life so much better, and you don't max out your phone's memory that way. So definitely recommend getting some type of cloud service, whether it's Google Drive or Dropbox or OneDrive, whatever it is, to back up your photos. That's handy. And I have it set to where I categorize it by year and then by month, and then you click it on. Everything's there by the month, accessing it that way. So that's a pretty neat thing. Again, going back down here, again, we're at the pictures area. You got music. This is where all your music lands at. For like iTunes, I use iTunes. Videos, anything like video captures or HD Movie Maker can land here. OBS file, this is kind of just what's hanging out in my, these are like folders from my OneDrive right here. So this is where I record. All my recordings on OBS Studio lands in this OBS folder right here that I have set up in my OneDrive. Makes life easier if I'm hopping between my laptop or my desktop to do some editing and such. But enough of that section here. Going down this section, you got this PC, which is basically your network drives and such. Further down, you got your local disk drive. I have a external hard drive right here, my Book E. This thing, let me tell you, this thing I've had since 2009. I probably need to get this thing replaced before it craps out because it's old. But it still works. It's amazing that it still works after all these years. And it's 1 terabyte. So I really probably should get it replaced soon. Like soon, before I lose stuff. And then if you go further down, there's like all these other lists of folders, of course. It may not be there for you, but they're there for me because I do a lot of weird, crazy stuff on my computer. Actually, all that's these are all the E folders. So yeah. But I have a section for Linux right here because I have Linux installed. Linux, it's a Windows subsystem Linux is what it is. So I've got these installers here so I can run Linux terminals on my Windows computer. It's crazy that you can do that. So moving up the top here, this is your folder pathway that you can see right up here. If I click on this, there it is, folder pathway. If I click on here, to ABJ Incorporated, I'm not incorporated. But there's a pathway right there that you can see how this file system works. It's C drive, users, then you got your username, then you got your OneDrive, then you got your other folder right here. That's pretty much how it works. You can refresh it here. You can go back up, or you can go back this way, or you can go forward this way. You can exit right here. You could add another tab right here, which that's new for Windows 11. All right, just so you know, you can open up multiple tabs, kind of like a web browser, like Microsoft Edge. You could open up multiple web pages. That's kind of how it acts. You can search your folders right here with the search bar. Hang on, let me move myself out of the way so that way you can see that. So search bar up top here. You can have a detailed description access right here about your files, or you can close it out, whichever you want to do. So it's going to generate like detailed information for your files right there. It's pretty handy as well. Some of these things here, you can go new. You can create folders, shortcuts. You can do a Microsoft Access database, bitmap image, Word document, Access database again. Why is it on here? Is that on there twice? What in the world? PowerPoint presentation, publisher, rich text, all these options right here for new. You could cut, you can copy, you can paste. Trying to see what that is right there. Hang on. Click on that. Oh, you can rename it. You can make it a shortcut. You could trash it into your recycle bin. You could sort your files if you like. You could change the view. Look at that size of icons right there. Very massive. I'm going to move myself back up in the corner here. But that's very massive. I usually like the large icons. Sometimes I may go small icons. Sometimes I may just list them out, whichever I feel. But I usually land on the large icons because it's just nicer to see. And of course, these 3 dots, you could compress files. You could pin them to quick access. You can copy the file path if you like on a clipboard, which is basically this right here, the file pathway. So let's do that. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to open up a command prompt. I'm going to see if this works, just out of curiosity. Oh, it doesn't recognize. Hang on. I know what to do. I know what to do. I know what to do. I'm going to type in CD. There you go. Now I'm in there. How do I know? dir directory. There it is. That's handy right there. If you can copy the web browser, the file pathway up here, get this there, and then open up a command prompt screen and do CD space, and then just insert it here, take out the quotation marks, hit enter. It's going to get you all this information. So that's pretty sweet. I love that. Clear that out. Let's exit. That's bonus for you right there. We'll talk about command prompt another time for you on this series. But that's pretty much the general stuff here for File Explorer. You know, we got other things that we could take a look at. We can select all, select none, invert selection, whatever that means. I never used it. Properties, you know, if you look at properties, we've opened this before. We opened the settings. But there's a file name. You can set it to hidden or read only or whatever. Sharing, you could share it. You could go through some security stuff. Again, I don't really go through any of these things. I don't really use it. So if you have no need to do any of this stuff, you don't necessarily have to go into the properties. Options, again, if you want, you could change these settings here. You could open each folder in its own window if you like. You could do a single click on the item instead of double clicking, and just different things. But again, these are things that necessarily you don't really do anything with, because default settings are usually pretty good for File Explorer. If you need something more in depth, you know, you could research it for yourself to play around with it. But as far as this video is concerned for basic using for File Explorer, this is pretty much it. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Have yourselves a great day and take care.